Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief program. I'm your host, Jenny. Today, we're diving into some exciting updates from our vibrant city. First up, Hong Kong's financial sector is showing signs of bouncing back. After a tough pandemic period, a boom in IPO activity has put Hong Kong at the top of the global fundraising charts. This financial vigor is expected to revive office demand, with companies like KGI Financial and US firms such as Jane Street expanding their regional presence. The hope is that this renewed confidence will ripple through the property market, sparking a recovery. Next, let's talk fashion. Italian supermodel Vittoria Ceretti has been turning heads at Cannes and beyond, wearing stunning designer gowns and dazzling jewelry from Messika. Her glamorous appearances, including a show-stopping Giorgio Armani Privé dress, have made her a fashion icon this summer. If you're into timeless sparkle, brands like Graff and De Beers also offer exquisite diamond jewelry options to elevate your style. Finally, a bit of local news: Hong Kong's new premium taxi fleets are facing some bumps in the road. Tests show that only one fleet responded promptly to ride requests, with others struggling due to app glitches and operational issues. High rents and strict regulations seem to be holding drivers back from providing reliable service. But don't worry, the government is working on improvements. Please stay tuned for more details, and continue watching. South China Morning Post reports that Hong Kong's financial sector is showing signs of revival, which could potentially breathe new life into the city's struggling office market. The recent expansion of KGI Financial Holding, including the leasing of significant office space in the central business district and the opening of its first overseas branch of KGI Bank, signals a strengthening of Hong Kong's role as a global financial hub. The surge in IPO activity and the rise in assets under management, reaching approximately $4.5 trillion last year, are fueling optimism that this momentum could help stabilize the property market, especially if more companies follow the lead of firms like Jane Street, which signed a large lease in Central. Experts believe that as Hong Kong regains its status as a key financial gateway alongside New York and London, office demand will increase, driven by the need for physical presence in the financial industry and the potential for wealth creation from stock market gains. However, the sector faces significant challenges, including high interest rates, an oversupply of office and retail space, and a debt crisis among developers like New World Development, which is undergoing a major debt restructuring. Despite these hurdles, lenders and banks remain cautiously optimistic, with some emphasizing that the market's recovery hinges on the revival of IPO activities and the city's ability to attract international capital, especially from mainland Chinese firms expanding globally. South China Morning Post also highlights the recent struggles faced by Hong Kong's property developers amid a complex economic environment marked by rising interest rates, a slowing Chinese economy, and a strong US dollar peg. The city's property sector has experienced a sharp decline in prime office and retail rents, with vacancies reaching new highs and prices dropping significantly since 2019. Major developers like NWD and Henderson Land are grappling with enormous debts, with NWD considering handing over its flagship project to the Airport Authority to halt cash burn. The situation is compounded by the high debt levels of over $18.8 billion due by 2026 for Hong Kong's property firms, and a decline in prime retail space vacancies and rents. Market analysts warn that the downturn may continue for the next 5 years, influenced by slower employment growth and subdued GDP. Nevertheless, some industry insiders remain hopeful, emphasizing that the ongoing IPO revival and the city's role as a financial hub could eventually restore demand for office space. Banks, despite an increase in non-performing loans, maintain a relatively healthy outlook, with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority dismissing fears of a systemic crisis, asserting that current provisions are sufficient. The key to recovery, they say, lies in the return of capital market activity, which could restore confidence and lead to a rebound in property prices and rents over the coming years. South China Morning Post's coverage of Vittoria Ceretti's summer highlights her dazzling presence on the global red carpet, from Cannes to Venice and Paris Fashion Week. The Italian model's recent appearances have been marked by high-profile fashion moments, including her stunning Giorgio Armani Privé gown at Cannes, paired with exquisite Messika diamond jewelry that epitomizes luxury and timeless elegance. Ceretti's style choices reflect a blend of sophistication and modernity, with her statement jewelry pieces, such as the white midnight sun earrings and hypnotic scale ring, symbolizing her impeccable taste and the enduring allure of diamonds. Her fashion presence at major events underscores her status as a top model, inspiring fans and fashion enthusiasts worldwide with her glamorous yet effortless style. Her summer journey encapsulates the essence of haute couture and jewelry as symbols of celebration and elegance, cementing her position as a fashion icon who seamlessly marries artistry with high society glamour. Finally, South China Morning Post reports on the disappointing performance of Hong Kong's new premium taxi fleets, which have struggled to meet expectations for instant ride-hailing service. Despite being fully licensed and equipped with in-vehicle cameras and e-payments, most of these fleets failed to accept ride requests within the required 30-minute window during a recent test in Tsim Sha Tsui. Singcab was the only fleet to confirm a ride after an 11-minute wait, but other operators like Amigo, Big B, Big Boss Taxi, and Joie faced technical glitches, cancellations, and delays, revealing the challenges of integrating new technology into the traditional taxi industry. The high costs of renting these premium taxis, along with driver hesitations due to less flexibility and higher rents, have limited their urban presence. Industry insiders suggest that many drivers prefer traditional taxis or pre-booked airport trips, which offer more predictable income. The government's efforts to modernize Hong Kong's taxi service are still underway, but the initial results highlight the difficulties of transitioning to a more digital, service-oriented transport sector. Despite these setbacks, the government remains committed to improving the industry, with plans to expand the fleet and enhance app functionality, aiming to eventually provide a more reliable and efficient ride-hailing experience for residents and visitors alike. According to the South China Morning Post, Hong Kong is bracing itself for intense weather as an amber rainstorm warning has been issued, signaling heavy rainfall expected to surpass 30 mm per hour across the city. The active monsoon, driven by a powerful southwesterly flow, has brought thunderstorms and torrential rains, particularly battering the eastern district of Hong Kong Island with over 70 mm of rain in just 1 hour. Residents are urged to take precautions against potential flooding, as the forecast predicts ongoing heavy showers and squally thunderstorms over the coming days, gradually easing by mid to late next week. The storm's intensity underscores the unpredictable power of nature, prompting local authorities to prepare for possible flood damage amid the active weather pattern. The South China Morning Post also explores the rich history of homosexuality in China, revealing a surprisingly tolerant and even celebratory attitude towards same-sex love in ancient times. During the Warring States period, legendary stories such as that of Lord Longyang highlight deep bonds between men, while emperors like Ai of Han openly favored male companions, elevating male love to a courtly level. Throughout the dynastic eras, especially in the Ming and Qing periods, intellectuals and aristocrats expressed pride in their same-sex attractions, with laws against homosexuality being mild and rarely enforced. Unlike the harsh punishments seen elsewhere, Chinese society historically regarded same-sex relationships as private, personal matters that could be romanticized without moral condemnation, provided they did not threaten social or political responsibilities. This historical perspective suggests that modern debates on LGBTQ rights in Hong Kong might find resonance in traditional Chinese attitudes that tolerated, and at times celebrated, same-sex love. Hong Kong is also preparing for a significant milestone, the 100-day countdown to the National Games, marked by a series of celebratory events involving local leaders and the community. Chief Executive John Lee Kok-yew will lead a cycle ceremony at the Velodrome, joined by sports officials and ordinary citizens participating in a collective biking, running, and walking challenge that has already covered nearly 1 million kilometers. The celebration extends to Shenzhen and Macau, with drone displays, cultural festivals, and sports carnivals designed to foster regional unity and promote the city's sporting ambitions. These events not only highlight Hong Kong's enthusiasm for hosting the Games but also emphasize the city's strategic role within the Greater Bay Area, as officials underscore the importance of sports development and international cooperation in shaping Hong Kong's future as a major sporting hub. The South China Morning Post vividly recounts the inspiring journey of Huang Yu, a 21-year-old student from Shanghai who turned to traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, for weight loss amidst urgent medical needs. After discovering a uterine tumor that slowed her metabolism and caused her to gain weight, Huang initially tried conventional methods like hormone medication and intermittent fasting, but with limited success and side effects. Her breakthrough came when she embraced TCM practices, including acupuncture, cupping, and gua sha, complemented by lifestyle adjustments such as better sleep routines. Her story underscores the potential effectiveness and safety of long-term TCM treatments for weight management, emphasizing the importance of addressing internal organ health, particularly the spleen, and adopting a holistic approach that combines diet, exercise, and traditional therapies for sustainable results. Hong Kong's South China Morning Post further explores how TCM integrates acupuncture and dietary strategies in weight loss, emphasizing the importance of internal balance rather than extreme dieting. Practitioners like Elizabeth Yao and Michelle Zhang highlight that TCM views the spleen as central to fluid and nutrient regulation, advocating personalized diets based on individual constitution types, such as strengthening digestion with foods like Chinese yam for spleen deficiency or reducing dampness with lotus leaf for fluid retention. They stress that weight loss isn't about deprivation but about nurturing the body's internal flow, warmth, and strength. Additionally, moderate exercise, such as Tai Chi and walking, is recommended to enhance Qi circulation without exhausting vital energy. Complementary treatments like moxibustion and ear seeds are also discussed as supportive tools, reinforcing the idea that patience and gradual healing are essential for long-term well-being. Nikkei Asia vividly depicts Taiwan's bold new TV series Zero-Day Attack, which confronts the taboo subject of Chinese infiltration and potential military conflict with unprecedented candor. The show, created by Ching Hsi in May, dramatizes a near-future scenario where China imposes a naval blockade and orchestrates internal chaos through spies, cyber attacks, and disinformation, reflecting real fears of hybrid warfare and infiltration that Taiwan faces today. Despite political pressures and criticism from China and opposition parties, the series aims to raise awareness about national security threats, blending human-centered storytelling with geopolitical realities. Filmed within Taiwan's government buildings and featuring international actors, Zero Day seeks to serve as a cultural warning and educational tool, encouraging the Taiwanese public to recognize and prepare for the complex challenges of cross-strait relations and hybrid warfare in an increasingly tense geopolitical landscape. The BBC explores how the global tech manufacturing industry, once a powerhouse fueling Asia's economic rise, is now suffering due to President Trump's aggressive tariffs. Originally aimed at bringing jobs back to the US and leveling the international playing field, these tariffs have instead disrupted supply chains across Taiwan, South Korea, Vietnam, and India, key hubs for semiconductors, electronics, and smartphone assembly. Major companies like Apple and Nvidia face increased costs, with Apple reporting hundreds of millions in tariff-related expenses, and the entire region's exports feeling the pinch as stocks tumble and trade surpluses dwindle. The tariffs also threaten the intricate China Plus One strategy, where companies shift manufacturing to avoid tariffs, only to find trans-shipped goods now targeted, further complicating the global supply web. The move to impose a 25% tariff on Indian imports, after Delhi's failed negotiations, exemplifies how these policies are broadening, impacting everything from consumer electronics to advanced chips, and even e-commerce platforms like Shein and Temu, which face higher costs due to the end of exemptions on small parcels, ultimately risking the economic gains Asia has made through export-driven growth. The CBC reports on the contentious closure of Toronto Western Hospital's culturally tailored mental health program for the Chinese community, the Asian Initiative in Mental Health, AIM. While hospital officials insist the program has merely been integrated into a broader service to improve efficiency and reduce wait times, community members like Joy Luck and mental health advocates see it as a loss of specialized, culturally sensitive care. Luck, who relied on Cantonese-speaking therapists to navigate her depression, fears losing access to providers who understand her cultural background and family dynamics, which are crucial for effective treatment. Critics argue that the hospital's decision, made without adequate consultation, diminishes the unique trust and understanding built over 23 years, leaving vulnerable patients confused and underserved. Advocates warn that the move risks eroding a vital service for Toronto's Chinese residents, emphasizing the importance of cultural competence in mental health care and calling for more community engagement before such significant changes. The Globe and Mail discusses the strategic shift in Canadian investors' approach to dividend ETFs amid concerns about U.S. market policies and currency risks. The author shares personal experience of reducing U.S. holdings and turning to European dividend ETFs like the iShares Stocks Global Select Dividend 100 UCITS ETF, STIGPEX, noting the complications of trading on European exchanges, higher currency conversion costs, and the need for phone trades, making such investments less convenient. Instead, he recommends considering U.S.-listed international ETFs like the iShares International Select Dividend ETF, IDV, which offers diversified exposure to European stocks with manageable costs and the benefit of trading in U.S. dollars, avoiding hefty currency spreads. For Canadian investors, ETFs trading on Canadian exchanges, such as BMO's ZDI or Vanguard's VD, present a more cost-effective alternative, especially when combined with strategies like Norbert's Gambit to minimize currency conversion expenses. Despite the desire to reduce U.S. exposure, the author underscores the long-term value of maintaining U.S. market investments for their technological and industrial leadership, advocating for diversification that balances risk while leveraging Canada's and U.S.'s respective advantages. The South China Morning Post vividly recounts the tragic case of Luck Yiling, a 21-year-old university student who fell victim to a horrifying crime orchestrated by a wealthy Hong Kong businessman, Han Leung-fong. Han, known as a Hong Kong success story, lured Luck to a hotel under the pretense of a birthday celebration, only to drug her with chloroform and subject her to a sexually violent assault, all captured on videotape. The story unfolds with chilling details of Han's pattern of making explicit videos of his employees, revealing a disturbing obsession with keeping souvenirs of his sexual exploits. Despite their denials, the court sentenced Han and his accomplice, Phoebe Wong, to lengthy prison terms, which were later increased upon appeal, reflecting the gravity of their heinous actions and the profound grief of Luck's family who mourned her loss, feeling the injustice of the leniency initially granted. The BBC reports on President Donald Trump's tumultuous approach to the U.S. economy amid rising fears of a slowdown, triggered by a weak jobs report and volatile markets. Trump's decision to dismiss the head of the agency responsible for vital economic data, Erica McIntyre, was driven by his dissatisfaction with the recent revisions to employment figures, which painted a less optimistic picture of the U.S. labor market. This move, coupled with his aggressive tariff policies that threaten to impose hefty taxes on imports from major trade partners, has caused global markets to tumble, with sharp declines across Europe, Asia, and North America. Trump's tariffs aim to rebalance trade and bolster U.S. manufacturing but risk escalating prices for consumers and slowing economic growth, as analysts warn that the unpredictable shifts in policy could destabilize an already fragile global economy. The Associated Press details President Trump's provocative response to statements made by Dmitry Medvedev, the former Russian president and current deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council. Trump's order to reposition 2 U.S. nuclear submarines was a direct reaction to Medvedev's inflammatory remarks, which warned of potential consequences amid escalating tensions over Russia's war in Ukraine. Trump's social media threats highlight the delicate and volatile state of U.S.-Russia relations, with the president emphasizing words' importance and hinting at possible military posture adjustments. Medvedev's provocative rhetoric, often laced with nuclear threats and insults, underscores the ongoing geopolitical chess game, where fiery exchanges and military posturing threaten to escalate conflicts further, reflecting the fragile balance of power and the ever-present danger of miscalculation in an era of heightened tensions. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Rise of empires, no end. Dragons well, blood and steel. Screams unheard. Profits real. In boardrooms cold. Fortunes made. Workers' fate in the shade. Currency war, silent fight. Cradles burn, black and night. Through storm, neon gleam. Economic power, move the steam. Contract sign, trails deep. Backroom deals, those asleep. Bank vaults echo, greed's insatiable cry. In this mental wasteland, dreams die. Sweat, endless night, stubborn surge, shadows blend, rise of empires no end, dragons well, blood and steel, screams unheard, profits real, in boardrooms cold, fortunes made, workers' fate in the shade, currency war, silent fight. Cradles burn, black and night. Through the storm, neon gleam. Economic power, move the sea. Currency war, silent fight. Cradles burn, black and night. Through the storm, neon gleam. Workers' fate in the shade. Currency war, silent fight. Cradles burn, black and night. Through the smog, neon gleam, economic power moves the steam. Contract sign, betrayals deep, backroom deals, bones asleep, bank vaults echo, breeds insatiable crime. In this metal wasteland, dreams die. Contract signed, betrayals deep, backroom deals, vultures sleep. My phone's echo breeds insatiable crime. In this metal wasteland, dreams die. Isaac sees, nation law, future built, unpaid and war.